Okay guys, so that concludes our playthrough for Mafia Definitive Edition, aka the Mafia 1 remake. And I gotta say guys, I definitely enjoy playing this reimagined remake of Mafia 1. And I think it is a nice change, you know, from all the AAA games that's been coming out lately that's all online focused, esports, you name it. But I think Mafia Definitive Edition I think would be a welcome addition to the whole Mafia trilogy, considering that almost 80% of the people who have played the Mafia franchise probably haven't even played the first game, so this is a good opportunity for them to pretty much play the first game essentially to see where its root comes from and pretty much build up the whole franchise as a whole. Like I said, I have never beaten Mafia 2 fully. I have played it. I have made a few videos on this channel 3 years ago, maybe longer, but I have since then have not touched it for the longest time. So after this, I'm definitely gonna be checking out Mafia 2, and then after that, we're gonna be checking out Mafia 3. And from what I heard, Mafia 2 is pretty much on par on Mafia 1, if not a little bit better. I'm not entirely sure. I had to play the game for myself. I heard Mafia 3 is kind of the worst of the whole franchise at the moment, but I had to play it for myself to see if the game is bad or not. But likewise, let's talk about Mafia Definitive Edition, what I think about it, what I like about it, what I did not like about it, and overall my personal opinions on this game. Well, I have to say, this game, when they first announced that they're going to remake Mafia 1 from the ground up, I was actually pretty excited. Just the fact that, you know, they're going to remake the whole game as a whole, reimagine it too, like add some new things here and there. I was all down for it because, you know, we already got the amazing Resident Evil 2 remakes. We got all kinds of good remasters coming out lately that are just gone off the root. So at this point, I think a lot of game companies are definitely going for the remake route now for most of the classic titles, like Final Fantasy, for example. That's a good example right there. That's a game I want to try, but I heard it might bring it on PC, so I'm going to wait for a PC release. If not, then I'll get on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, whichever. But yeah, I think this is the time of games getting a remake over, because I heard there is going to be a Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake too from Ubisoft. So all these game companies just see, hey, people like remakes, we should remake this game. So now I think it is a good time for people to remake games because they could do so much more with it, expand it a little bit more, make it better, add some more story, you know, all kinds of stuff. Because you gotta know, this game, Mafia 1, this game came out back in 2002, and I remember playing this game a bunch of time back in my middle school days, and I have a lot of fun with it. You know, the game was hard as hell to play, especially the godforsaken racing mission, but likewise, I enjoyed the OG game from what it is. It is a fun game to play. It is a hard game to play, but it is another way. It is a fun game to play. Definitely take a lot of skill to play that game because there was no aim down sight, zoom in type of stuff. You had to, you just point the cursor where you need to point, shoot, and pray that bullet hits, because that bullet spread is gonna go everywhere. There is no guarantee you're gonna get a headshot. If you aim him at the face, the bullet is gonna kind of have that random RNG bullet spread in the OG game. So, and this game kind of brings it back a little bit too. If you play in classic mode, the bullet spread is a little bit randomized too. So I do appreciate that. You know, it's not, you know, too arcadey to the point the game is, you know, really easy. I was a little bit concerned when they showcased the farm mission where there's a lot of ammo boxes lying everywhere and first aid kit. I was a little bit concerned they're gonna make this game really easy to play, but luckily that is not the case, especially if you play this game in classic mode. Highly recommend you guys play this game in classic mode, except for the racing part. Racing mission, turn that classic mode off and turn it back on after that racing mission, because my personal opinion, my personal experience, I find it impossible. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some ballsy motherfuckers out there that actually did it, and if you guys actually managed to beat that race in classic mode, kudos to you. You guys deserve a reward. But for me, I couldn't do it, so I had to switch it off, play it with the arcade driving, with the driving mechanics. I had to put that to arcade because I can't do it in classic. The AI cheats. On top of that, my car just keeps spinning out of control regardless of what I do. So I don't know. Maybe I was doing it wrong. I have no idea. But I'm never gonna play that mission again. Never. So fuck that racing mission. Fuck that crap. But you know what? I guess it's good to have it in here because you know you gotta have the racing mission. You're gonna make a remake of Mafia 1. You gotta have it almost everything there from the OG game to this game. So of course they gotta add the freaking racing mission. But me personally, I hated it. I would not mind to take that mission off completely. But you know what? They're doing it for the for the fans. So I'm glad that they left it in there. For me, I fucking hate that racing mission. But otherwise, let's talk about what the storytelling, or actually let's talk the story last. Let's talk about how the game looks and the sound. Visuals wise, definitely a big improvement over the OG game. Now you want to compare pictures, I might bring up a picture from the OG game and compare it to the remake of this game, because there is definitely a big difference. And yes, this game definitely looks a lot better than OG game, especially on a lot of the character models too. Most of the character models are they look good, but they're not really fully animated, especially with the faces too. It's not like they have no facial expressions unless you're talking to an NPC or is in a cutscene. But that's pretty much about it. But likewise, look-wise, it looks good. I think Hangar 13 did a fabulous job. More than fast, fantastic job on recreating Lost Heaven and try to keep it faithful to the original game. I definitely appreciate that a lot. A lot of the character models look really good. The facial animation looks really good. The cutscene looks really good. Some of the cinematography for the cutscenes look absolutely amazing. They did a fantastic job. Like I said, the graphics definitely holds up to pretty much current gen at the moment for the Xbox One and the PS4. But yeah, definitely it looks a lot better than the OG game for sure. Like I said, everything looks a lot better. The weapons, the character models, facial animation looks spot on too. Cutscenes were great, and even the animation. There's some clunky animations here and there, but likewise the animation looks pretty good, especially for the cutscenes with the motion capture and the cutscenes. That definitely looks really good. And let's talk about a little bit of the reimagining too, because there are a lot of parts in here that they did in fact change. There's a lot of goods and there's a lot of bads too. But let's talk about the good changes that they're making this remake. I do like the fact that when you're chasing the Don Morello, I'm gonna butcher his name. When you're chasing the other Don guy, the rival, in the OG game you actually go to the same airport twice. But in this remake, you actually go to an airstrip where you have to fight his goons off, and you sort of shoot down his plane, but his plane doesn't just explode in mid-air in the OG game. You actually gotta follow him, and when he crashes, you gotta confirm he's really dead. That is the change I really like. It's something a little bit different, and I do appreciate that they added that in. Because in the OG game, you just shoot his plane down, and that's it. He dies. That's it. That's pretty much it. But I do appreciate the fact that they definitely try to expand the story a lot more in this game compared to the OG game. Where they could have just gone with just OG and be done with it, but they added a lot more cool moments in here, a lot of stuff in here. I don't know, that makes more sense. Especially the shootout scene at the restaurant when you with Salieri. That was absolutely fucking fantastic cutscene right there. Definitely brings back a lot of memories of the OG game at the time, but I think that one was definitely done a lot better in my opinion. And also what they changed too is when you're chasing Carlo, the guy who pretty much backstabs Salieri, there's another extra cutscene too. You shoot him down, he falls from the ladder, and Salieri literally went up to him and just bashed his face in literally with his fucking feet. So that was new, and pretty much it kind of shows, Salieri's mean side a lot more, because in the other game you kind of don't really see that as much in the OG game, but in this one you definitely get to see how fucking pissed off he is when someone try to whack him essentially, and you see that. Like I said, this remake is pretty good. I think the new voice actors did a fantastic job, especially for Tommy Angelo. I think the new actor they got for Tommy definitely sounds almost very identical to the OG version of the game, but I think this version of Tommy is definitely a lot better because he has more, character development, more emotions, and I don't know, the voice actor, like I said, he did a fantastic job. Salieri also fantastic too. And the biggest change I ever seen is probably the remake over of Sam and Paulie. Those are the two big characters that got some major overhaul, especially how the way they look. Cause I think in the OG game, Paulie was like some old fat looking guy. Well, he's kind of older. He's not that old, but he's kind of older, a lot older looking guy. And Sam, well, he looks a little bit different too, but Sam is always looking fancy. But in the OG game, Sam always dressing up a little bit more fancy. But in this new game, he kind of acts like the same. The only difference is that new voice actors and the new looks, and that's what kind of threw me out. I was like, who the hell is Paulie and Sam? I was like, holy shit, that's Sam and Paulie. But I definitely dig the new look. They definitely made Paulie a lot younger. He apparently he claims he's 40 years old, but in my personal opinion, he sounds and looks a lot younger than 40 years old. So I don't know what the hell Paulie's saying that I'm nearly 40 years old, but no, he looks a lot younger. They definitely make Paulie a lot younger, and Sam too. They definitely make those two characters look a lot younger than they look in the OG game. And like I said, I actually do appreciate the new look. You know, it brings some new fresh air, new voice actors into the fray, and it works really good. It actually works really well. The storytelling, I think, is definitely done a lot better in this game compared to the OG game. Definitely shot in a very cinematic way with, you know, pretty much, you know, you've seen movies like Goodfellas or all those, you know, all those classic mafia style movies that you've seen back in the 90s. It's pretty much has that same feeling, and I don't know, I kind of miss games like this where it's just, I don't know, nobody makes games like this anymore, and that's what really pains me. And I'm glad that 2K and Hangar 13 took the time in remaking the first Mafia game, because it was a good game. It had a good story. Yeah, clunky as hell gameplay, a little bit iffy pacing, but other than that, it was a good game for what it is. It was fun to play, hard as hell to play, but nevertheless, it was a good game to play. And there's only a few things I did not like the new change on. The hotel is kind of lackluster in my personal opinion. I think the hotel mission in the OG game was a lot more intense, but in this game it's kind of a little bit toned down a little bit. I don't know, kind of didn't like as much. They also changed out the scene too, where you find the informant too, Michelle. In the OG game, you actually find in a bathtub, but in this one you actually find, you know, she's not in the bathtub in this remake. So that was a change, but that one's kind of I don't mind it. But the biggest change that I really did not like was the romance with Sarah. They definitely changed that by a lot. Surely they did add a lot more dialogue between Tommy and Sarah, which I think is a good thing. But for them getting together, it was very, very anticlimactic and kind of dumb, in my opinion. Pretty much, he just gets home, and you already saw it, because he just gets home, she gets the code out, she hugs him, then he just says, "Marry me." And she's like, okay, and that's it. They hook up. What the hell happened in the OG game? What really happened is that you actually get it together when you actually fight off the people that were harassing Sarah. So she sought Banshee up. That's when you guys started, to get, you know, a little bit closer, a little bit there. And in the OG game, it was a lot more at stake. There's like three separate areas, maybe two separate areas you gotta go just to find Sarah, making sure she's okay. You gotta beat the shit out of the guys messing with her. But yeah, the whole point of that whole scene is for them to get, you know, bonded a little bit together a little bit more, and they kind of change it a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like, surely, yeah, to patch up, but that's it. But in that moment, what's supposed to happen is that she's patching them up. They're talking here and there. I forgot the dialogue what they're talking about. It's been ages. But they talk here, and then they're bouncing each other, and then that's when they're starting to get a little bit, you know, it's starting to get a little bit romantic and started kissing each other. They actually got rid of that whole fucking scene, by the way. There's supposed to be a sex scene between Tommy and Sarah in the OG game, and it wasn't even not that bad either. They were mostly covered up anyways, but I don't know why Hangar 13 took that scene out. I don't know. Like, they're in charge of the game, but I have a feeling that whole romance between Sarah and Tommy, I think they kind of ruined that in the middle, but it kind of redeems itself in the end, where you actually see Tommy with his family, with his wife and his daughter. And at the very end, you even see he has two sons too at the very end of the game. So yeah, it's a shame that they absolutely fucked that up with the romance scene with Sarah, because in my opinion, I don't really this Sarah is kind of compared to the OG Sarah, because you actually talk to Sarah occasionally too when you leave out the bar too, because you actually can talk to her as an NPC in the OG game. So, but you couldn't do that in this remake. So I don't know. I think they kind of just half-assed that whole romance, and that's a big, huge mark on that. And also some of the remake mission design too that they changed, I also didn't like too. Like the motel was a lot more wasn't as good as the OG one. I like the OG one a lot better. It was a lot more intense. And on top of that, it was in the middle of the desert too. On top of that, well, it's not in the middle of the desert, like in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know. I really did not enjoy that mission as much, because at the end when you rescue Sam, there's supposed to be a big guy that's supposed to ambush you, but unfortunately they took that out. I was like, I don't know. That whole mission just felt maybe half-assed in my opinion. I did not like that one as much. But all the other ones I think is pretty fantastic. They'll hold up on par with the other remake missions. Bon Appetit is definitely one of my favorites, and the one where you're chasing Sergio, that one's really fun too. And the one where the steamboat was pretty cool too, but it was a little bit too short in my opinion. Alright, so the story is pretty much identical to the first game. They changed a few things here and there. Pretty much it ends the same way. Tommy got Celery behind bars. In the end, he gets killed by, people sent by Celery. At the end, he dies. But they are, like I said, they changed a few things here and there with the cutscene and how it starts out, which I do like. So the story is pretty much very identical, and like I said, the story is still pretty good. But just the way that they tell the story is fantastic. Like I said, it's definitely a much better version compared to the OG game. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about the gameplay. From what I heard, the gameplay is kind of like Mafia 3. Personally, I have never played Mafia 3, so I wouldn't know. But I don't mind the gameplay. It's definitely a lot, easier and a lot better to use compared to the OG game. But there are some things that I definitely want to talk about the gameplay in terms of the level design. Like I said, most of this mission got a huge overhaul in the level design, and sadly, it kind of holds your hand a little bit too much. In the OG game, there was no quest markers whatsoever. Once you get the objective tab, you just gotta go out there and try to find it. In OG, you gotta just go out there and find it. No quest markers at all. I think there might be a few quest markers here and there, but it's not much compared to the remake. The remake kind of holds your hand a little bit too much in my opinion, and it kind of defeats the purpose of that OG level design. Like especially the boathound mission, there was so many things you could do in that mission before you actually get to rack the politician in that mission. So many things you could do in there, and you can even get spotted and blow your cover and fail the whole thing. But the mission doesn't fail. You can still complete the mission. It's that it's going to be a lot harder to complete the mission. So you can fuck up in the OG game, but you can still keep playing. That's what I like about the OG game. You can fuck up, but you can play. But in this game, you fail self mission, automatic fail. Where's the alarm? Automatic fail. It's like, well, shit. What the fuck I'm supposed to do, game? I'm pretty sure OG Mafia game has some of that stuff too, but there are a lot of things in this game, in the OG game, that you can definitely either completely fuck up the mission, or you can do the mission as smoothly as possible. There's a lot of extra details that definitely left up in the OG game, and I am a little bit disappointed at that. This game forcefully, holds your hand into getting an objective. Yeah, is it easy? Sure. Is it funner? That's debatable. That's dependent on what you take on it. Me, I don't mind it, but to some hardcore Mafia fans out there, they probably will not like that. I can guarantee you that. But other than that, the gameplay is pretty good. The driving mechanic is a little bit clunky, but it is old cars, so you're not driving a fucking Ferrari or Mercedes at the time, so it makes sense. But just keep in mind, if you play on classic mode, it is going to activate simulation mode for the driving mechanic. So if you guys remember GTA 4 driving mechanic, expect something like that. So be careful when you're driving this game, because you can fuck your day up real fast in this game if you have classic mode on. But yeah, there is a free ride mode, as you can see here. I played a little bit of it. I'm not sure it still has the Speedy Gonzalez challenge, because I do remember in OG game there's this free ride extreme to have, and you get to go around doing optional side mission, money, and of course the challenge of taking down Speedy Gonzalez, which is a guy that runs really fast. Not sure this game has it. I have no idea, because I click free ride. It's only free ride. There's no free ride extreme option. So I don't know if they add everything together into free ride or it's just not there at all. I really hope there's more stuff than free ride. I might have to check it out and see what I can do in there, but I'm really hoping that have Speedy Gonzalez challenge in there, because that would be a big challenge, taking down Speedy Gonzalez, because he's fucking fast. In OG game, how I got him, he literally made a mistake, got hit by the car, right? When he's entered the intersection. So when he got hit by the car, I just book it with the fastest car I got. I book it, hit him directly, and that absolutely demolished Speedy Gonzalez. But that was by luck, because if Speedy Gonzalez didn't get hit by that car in the middle of the intersection, I would still be chasing him across the whole fucking map. You can see him on the map, you can track him, but he's just hard to get because he's so fucking fast. But that's the only way to take him out in OG game. Make sure he hits a car or a bus that will knock his ass down, and then ran over him, shoot him up, do however you like. But yeah, that's all I got to say for this new remake for Mafia. Is it a worthy game to play? Absolutely. I think the new storytelling of this reimagined remake of the first game, definitely worth playing the game over. And like I said, the story is fantastic, very cinematic, good characters, good pacing, and of course the ending, of course, that's a, if you're playing Mafia 2, you know what to expect from that part. So those last two guys that whack Tommy at the end, those are the two main characters in Mafia 2, if you haven't noticed. Which I didn't realize, I didn't know until my friend told me, and I watched the cutscene. I was like, holy shit, yeah, that is the guy. Then looks like it is definitely canon in this definitive edition. So I guess at some point when we play Mafia 2, we're all going to absolutely wreck Tommy some point in the future. But yeah, likewise, like I said, I enjoyed this remake. There are a few hiccups here and there. I do get a little bit frustrated at some point because the game is RNG, like I said. The truck blows up very fast, and oh yeah, that's what I forgot to talk about. The reimagining of the farm, I thought that was a great addition too. That is a nice touch that they added the armored car into the fray too. That was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And I do like the fact when the truck does get blown, there's a little extra cutscene where it shows your buddies getting fucked up. I thought that was a nice addition. I was like, holy shit, they actually added that thing. I was like, wow. Pretty crazy though. Overall, I enjoyed this remake of Mafia 1. Definitely worth picking it up. I think this game is like $40-30 right now. But for $60, I think you could get the whole trilogy for $60, and it has 2 and 3, the remastered edition for next gen. So pick up the trilogy if you guys can. Highly recommend to play this game. Mafia 1 definitely been a blast to play. And one more note: fuck that racing mission. Go to goddamn hell. Fuck that mission. Never again. But other than that, this is definitely worth the game to play. Highly recommend you guys check this out. You guys like Mafia stuff or time period stuff. And this is definitely going to be the end of the full playthrough for Mafia, the Definitive Edition. And if you guys enjoy the video and the whole series, hit that like button. If you guys didn't, then hit the dislike button. It's all up to you. And if you guys want to see more Mafia, like Mafia 2 and 3, or any other games you want to suggest for me to play, leave in the comments down below, and I will check them out. But yeah, guys, it has been a blast. Highly recommend you guys check this game out. It is absolutely awesome. Check it out. But other than that, guys, until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.